and welcome back to PowerPoint. Today I'm looking at the Insert tab. I previously looked at the Home tab, so let's get straight into it. Select a blank document and select the Insert tab, top left hand corner. Now again, we've got the same option New Slide as we do in the Home tab. If I click back to the Home tab, so we can select a new slide here. We can also do that selecting Insert and New Slide. I just put it there to make it more accessible as you're working within this tab. So I'm going to add one anyway and just do a blank one underneath. So I've got my main slide. I'm just going to add some text in there. And come back up to the first slide. Now I'm going to click into Subtitle, and you can see there's a box here again. Now I can leave that or get rid of it, but I'm going to get rid of that, so I'm going to left click it and select the delete key, and that will clear it for me. That's a quick way of doing it. Now I might want to add a table, so I'm going to left click Table. Now if I just hover around with the cursor, it creates the tables you want and cells. So how many columns I'm going to have? So I'm going to select that option and left click, and then it gives me straight away, if I hold the left button on the corner, remember we can drag that down, it then gives me my tables I want. When I actually create my tables from the Insert tab, see at the top here on the ribbon, I've got two tabs that have popped up, which means now I can edit and access the tables. So design you might want to change to more of an orange option. Click the drop down menu, you've got many templates from light, medium all the way down to dark, or you can just clear it if you want and have a blank one. But I'm going to select blue, that works pretty well. Also here you can choose where you want header row, and you see when I click on it, the header row at the top disappears. Also total row, so you can select these and then select what you want here right as well. So I just put last column and maybe first column. Why not? And a header row as well. And get rid of the banded rows. Also come to the right, we've got shading. So if we click on here, we can then shade what we want. So I'm going to come down to more of a gradient. Choose a gradient colour if you want that. You might want that to fit into what you're doing on your presentation. So it's important to keep that continuity. Also you can change the borders, do a left click. You might want no borders, or you might want all borders all the way around. I prefer all borders, but again, it's personal preference. Also you've got the effects option, so we could have a shadow if you want. Off that, now just hover over, you can see it gives you that effect, so you don't have to click on it. I'll add a bit of a shadow there. I'm going to drag that up a bit. Perfect. So I'm going to click back on the design option. We've got quick styles, so you can change how you want it to look quickly by using the quick styles, and again you've got clear word art. Change your fonts if you want here, so you can change your font colours. So let me click into a cell and pop some numbers in. That will do, and you can see it's now in red as that's what I've chose. Text outline, you might want a text outline colour as well, so you might want a bit of black on that to give it a bit of effect. So let me highlight it and add a bit of black on there as well to give that effect. And again, if you want, you can add more effects to your numeral numbers as well by adding shadows if you want, or maybe an inner shadow or perspective. Again, choice is yours. Now I'm going to come to this option here. Now if I click pen style, if I click down, you can choose a pen style you want. So I might want some dashes there. So now I can create dashes by clicking into it, and we create your cells and columns and borders. Just drag along and you can create them like that if need be, and you can choose how thick you want them to be as well when you do create them. Now I'm going to tick draw table anyway because I'm not doing that at the moment. And then you've got the eraser, so left click on it and then double click, and you get rid of the cells and the columns that you've created as well. So that's the first option in design. You can then jump to layout, and again you've got all your options for your table because that's what we're working on. If I left click off it, you see it disappears. So click back on it, it then gives you that option at the top again. If you require, you can view the grid lines or uncheck them so they're not viewed, or you can delete. So if I left click here, you could delete a column. As I highlight the whole lot's gone. Click undo. But if I click into a column, as so, I can select here and choose delete column, rows or table. So I can delete the whole column. Again, you can insert one above, insert below, or insert left or insert right if you want to add columns as well. And you can even merge cells together. So for example, I could select a couple of cells here and merge them. So let's give it a go. So I'm going to highlight a few cells here using the left mouse button, and I'm going to come back up to layout and select merge cells. and you can see it merges them all into one. And again, you can even split cells using the split option here and choose how many columns and rows you want to use. I know we kind of jumped into more of Excel options here, but you'll be using this within your presentation PowerPoint, so it's worth just setting stuff up quickly within this. Again, we've got height, so you can have your cells at distributed height or width if you need it on your columns. So we can do text direction, and you can choose how you want your text displayed. In this case, you see I've got numeral numbers, but I can display them in any direction I want to as well. And again, you can go to more options to change that if need be. Also in layout, you've got the option here, we can align top, align centre vertically, and also align bottom. So you can align your numeral and text exactly where you want. So we can merge cells here as well by clicking on it, and you can choose whether you want normal or narrow, or you might prefer it more wide, and you can see how it does that as that's the ones I've selected. So if I highlight a few there and come back up to layout, I can then choose how I like to merge them, maybe narrow. You can change the height and width of your table, also lock aspect ratio so it doesn't get distorted, and that's your table size. And again, we can use the bring forward or bring back option. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to click back into this PowerPoint. I'm going to go back to insert, and quickly I'm going to go back to tables, but I'm going to go to shape. I'm going to add any shape there. Hold the left button and I'll create the shape. I'm going to drag that over the table. Go up to layout. I can then choose whether or not I want to send that back or forward. So I can bring the selected object forward as so, or send it back. Also selection pane. So this will list the amount of objects you've got here on the left. So I've got oval and I've got two sets of tables, and you can see I've got a text one at the top, which is title 1, which is my text. I've got my main table 3 there from Excel, and I've got my oval 4, and if I click the little eye that will disappear, so you can work with specific information. So a really great option to use there as well. And again, when it opens, you can change how you want that to look, the background. But I want to close that and get rid of that and go back to where we were. So I'm going to click back on the table and select layout. Also, you can align, so you can change the placement of your selected objects on the page. So I could align left and you can see it moving, or align centre and right, and so on. Also with this option you can join objects, and if you require you can move and format them. And last of all, we can actually rotate your objects as well. So that's part of the inset. If I go back to insert again, so that was just using a table option, and you see by clicking an option it opens up a whole new set of options. So bear that in mind, you've got to work in workflows as you go along. Now next is pictures. So I'm going to go to my second slide and select pictures. Now I'm going to use a cat for example there. I showed you when you open up a picture, I showed you in the home tab. It gives you options on the right of design ideas if I scroll down. So it saves you having to mess about with it. You might decide you just want black and white, so you can select that quickly. Or you might just want maybe a touch of contrast with a border and so on. So I'm going to click the black and white one. Now actually it's got lovely blue eyes, so I choose the first option. Now when I click into the image, again from the insert tab, we've got a format option popped up. So then we can change all the formatting for that. So one thing you might want to do, depending on the image, you might want to remove some background. So when you click on remove background, this pops up. And you need to mark areas to keep and mark areas to remove. So I'm going to click the plus button. I might decide that all I actually want, just go around there quickly, forgive my art's rubbish, I might just want the eye, and then I can say mark areas to remove and click keep changes, and then it just leaves the eye for you. Then I can select the eye there and choose what I want to do with that. So I'm just going to hold the left button, bring that in a little bit. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that eye yet, but you kind of get the idea where I'm going with this. So that's the first option I use, remove background. I can use corrections as well, so I can change how I want that eye to look. So we've got brightness, contrast and so on. You can see I've added a bit of contrast there, and it's brought it out a bit with the white. Also you can choose colour, so you might want a specific colour, maybe yellowy colour. Again, choice is yours on your formatting to get that continuity on your presentation. I've also got artistic effects, so let me see what this effect's like. That's not bad, that looks more like a a crocodile's eye, doesn't it? So I don't really want that. That's not what I'm after. I'm just going to go back to how it originally was. Also, you can compress the pictures within a document because they might be too big and you don't want the file to be too big, so you can select compress pictures here. And lastly, if you want to apply to this picture, delete cropped areas of the picture, because remember the cropped areas are still there, so we can just save it as you see it. And again, you can use default resolution or change how you want it to look and how good you want the resolution to be. Here you can remove and place the selected picture while maintaining the size and position of the picture object. So if I click on it, I could do it from File, select the cat again and just replace it quickly and change the picture, and it replaced it exactly where it was before. Also I can select Reset Picture and bring it back, but again I've just imported that picture anyway, photo. At the top here you can see we've got different frames. If you hover over, give a feel for it rather than clicking on it. That feathered approach is not bad, but I'd need a different background for that. Click the little arrow here and you've got a few more that you can look for, just to see if that will blend into your presentation. So I'm actually going to use a little feathered option there. As I've still clicked on the picture, I'm still working on the formatting options. I could do the picture border if I had one and change it here. If I wanted to, I could select an outline colour by selecting eyedropper here. But what I'm going to do is an experiment. I'm going to put a border around that, so I can go to picture border. And let's change the colour of the border to more of a light green one there. So there's your picture border. If you click on it, you can put no outline, or you can even add weight to that border to make it thicker, or maybe you want it as dashes. See, if I click the eye, then it also creates an outline colour from whatever I clicked on the eyedropper. It doesn't have to be an eye, I just use that as an example. You can click on any colour to try and blend it in. So if I go back to it again, picture border, and select eyedropper again and just click on the fur, you can see it kind of blends into the fur. So again, you can keep that continuity. Also picture layout, so you can choose a layout. Let me show you. So if I move it to the left so you can see what's happening, picture layout, and you can see as I click it how the picture layout will change, just so in case you want text with it, or just so you can explain your presentation better. So I could have one with text on top if I want, but I'm going to leave it on that, and I could type in there if I wanted to, but I don't really want that. Then I'm going to go to picture effects. So you might decide you just want to, for example, have that at an angle. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Or you might want it flat, sitting there. Again, play around with these. You've got shadows, reflections if you need them as well, and you can have glows around there. And again, soft edges, or even bevel it if you need to around the frame. And go to 3D rotation and change what angle you want that in your presentation. If you click 3D rotation options at the bottom, it'll give you more options. Remember, the window pops up right, and then you can select what you want through there. But I've gone through these before in a home tab, so have a look at that. So click back on the image. I'm going to close this. Now these options bring forward, send back, and not highlight, because I've only got one object in there. So with that highlight, I'm going to Control C, and I'm going to copy that with Control V. So now I've got the two. Drag that over. So now you see it's got bring forward or back. So if I put that there, I could decide actually I want to bring that image there, I want to send that back. Or the one that's now in front, you want to bring that forward. So you can choose whether or not you want to do that. Also got selection pane here, which I showed you earlier, which again it's the same options that we looked at before. We can choose an image here and work on it. So you might go, actually I'm going to unselect that, so I've only got one image. But don't remember, just tap on it and you can see it again. Or select show all or hide all and click close. And that was clicking on the image and selecting format. Another option we haven't looked at is crop. So you can crop what you don't want in that picture. So I'm going to drag that over there, see both of them, and select crop. Now hold the left button and drag what you want to crop. So you might decide actually you only want part of the eyes like that, and then tap on crop, tap it again, and you see it's just cropped it out for you. So that's a quick way to crop stuff at the top there. You can also crop to shape if you've done it. So because I've highlighted, you see it's cropped it to that shape. Go back on it, crop to shape, and I can change what shape I want to crop that to. Again, giving it that effect. And again, we can change the crop to the height and width you want that as well by selecting the options. And that's what's good about Microsoft software. Whatever you click on, you can then work off with formatting options. So I'm going to go back to insert. I know I've jumped from both table and pictures to the top tabs for editing, but that's what happens when you click on an image. But now you've got an overview of them anyway, of how to use them. Next is online pictures. So if you want to add an online picture, you can go to Google Images, there's loads of places to add, but you can get them through here anyway. So let's have a little look. I'll just type cats in, scroll down, I'll choose any image. That will do. Now tick it and then select insert. Depending on the speed of your internet, it will then insert that. And remember, hold the left button, we can drag that in. And remember what I showed you last time, when you come to the top, because it's highlighted the picture, you've got formatting options. But I want to come out of that and go back to insert. So that's how you put your images in from the internet. Also, you've got screenshots. So you can take a screenshot whatever you're looking at. So I'm going to click screenshot, screen clipping. I'm going to take a screenshot of anything. Let's have a look at that woman running. And it adds it straight into your presentation for you. And again, you can edit it with the format option at the top. You can add your own photo album. What this does is, if you've got pictures, it will do a kind of template for you to create your own photo album. So you choose where your photo album is, and then you can choose whether or not you want text boxes with that, and then it creates a presentation for you for a photo album. Really handy option. Now, shapes. Click on shapes and choose a shape you want, and again hold the left button and drag. And when I've created a shape, it's changed at the bottom to drawing tools, because then I can change all the editing options for that. But again, I've got that in my home tab video tutorial, so start with there and then you'll know what to do in this section. Click back on insert. Also shapes, you've got good action buttons at the bottom, so worth having a look at as well. Icons, I'm going to select icons, and these could be useful. There's loads here if you're trying to explain something. So we go to business, signs and symbols. So I might just want a hand. I might want thumbs up. Tick it and select insert. Then insert it, hold the left button again. You can edit it and do what you want with the top option where it says graphic tools format. And again, you can underline it. Again, you can change the colour and specifically put that into continuity of your presentation. So we've got slides, tables, images, and illustrations where there's Smartart. Again, that was in the home tab. And chart. What I'm going to do is come here. I'm going to do another slide, select slide, and do another blank one. Now I'm going to hold the left button, I can drag that down to put that in third spot. Now I'm going to select chart, and I can choose a pie chart, bar chart, area chart, or if you're into stocks. So I'll just use a pie chart, and I should use just the basic one. Actually, I do want it at an angle. Click OK, and then that will import the bar chart into my PowerPoint. And again, with my Excel option here, I can then add the information I want in here. For example, I'll click second quarter, 6.2, and click enter, and you can see it changes in real time for you here. Also up the top here, you can change the chart elements, chart styles. I'll click on chart styles to show you. Again, you might want it a different option. And if I come down the bottom here, click on here, it then gives you all the values in linear format. So I could untick what I just want to control, or what I'm looking at, or maybe what you'll be explaining later, and click apply. So another real powerful option, and because I've imported that, you can see at the top I've gone to chart option, so always refer to the top for your tabs. Click back on insert. I know my PowerPoint's a bit of a mess, but you're getting the idea. I'm going to add another slide, so click new, and again I'm going to do a section header one this time, fourth one down. You've got a store here, we can get add-ins that will help you in your office if you need them. So have a look through, there's some good ones and some bad ones like there is anywhere. It's got the best app of the year. I've never used that one, but add professional diagrams, flow charts. So see if there's anything there that's helpful for you. Definitely worth a look at, and you can search using the option here. And then you can manage your add-ins as well if you've got them there by selecting see all. As you see, I've got none, but if I click to the right and select manage other add-ins, that will list all my other add-ins that I've got, including Camtasia and OneNote. So I'm going to click back on the first slide and show you zoom. So I'm going to click split zoom. So I can choose to insert slides into other slides. So I might actually say I've got slide 1, but I want to put my pie chart there, and click insert. And you can see how it puts that in there for me. So a quick way to integrate information that you want to do using the zoom option. Or I could do summary zoom. So you can organise into sections. So if I click the option here, I might actually on the second one and the third one, click insert, and you can see how it imports them all in for you and separates them in sections here to the left. So a good way to organise. Gives a little pop-up window showing you how to use that as well. Click got it. So I'm going to click back into my presentation. Now we've got link and action, but nothing's coming up, is it? Because you need to highlight the text. So I'm going to highlight, or an object. So I'm going to highlight the object there, symbol, and select link. Now I can insert a link here if I want to a file or program. So let me have a little look, see if I've got anything. I'll just put that text. That would do as a demonstration. So I've now linked that to my link option. I know you can't see it yet, but I'll show you in a minute when we actually run the slideshow. Also, we've got an action option there. So what this does is when you click on it, you can make that object go to a specific place or do a specific thing. So I'm going to highlight that text and select action. I want to hyperlink that to the next slide. So every time I mouse click on it, or I can choose mouse over, so every time I mouse click it will go into the next slide. I can have it play a sound if I want as well, and click OK. So again, when I go over it, nothing happens. But what I'm going to do is come up to slideshow and a ribbon, and I'm going to select from beginning. Now I'm going to hover over where it says this is a tester, and left click, and you can see it jumps to the slide. So it's a good way to link information back and forth between slides, or not specifically slides. You might want to do it to a file. So that's a really handy option using the link and action. Comments, so I might click on, so I might go to slide 3 and select the image there and decide I want to add a comment here. You can add more comments by clicking new, or you can delete the comments by just clicking on the X on the top right hand corner. You can also jump to previous or next comments. So I'll close that, and you can see a little option here tells me there's a comment. When I click on it, it will come up. So that's great when you're planning and organising as well. And click close. Text boxes, left click. So if I hold the left button, you can create a text box to add your text in wherever you want. And left click off there. Remember, if you click back on it, hold the left button with the cross there, and you can drag that wherever you want. Sorry about the mess of the slides. So go back to insert. Now I'm going to come down to the 5th slide. I'm going to use the option here next, which is header and footer. So you can add a header and footer to the top and bottom. So because date and time I might want added, and you can choose the format you want. Language, and you can add slide numbers as well. So I'm going to add a slide number, and if you want you can add a footer. So in the footer I could put more info. Now I could apply it to all slides or just one, but I'm just going to apply it to the 5th slide. And you can see you've got the date at the bottom, more info, and the slide number 5 there. So another great option with the headers and footers if you want to use that as well. If I go to notes and handouts, you've got an option there where you can export to notes and handouts to Word and that, so you can choose that option. You want date and time on them as well, and page numbers. And you can choose your headers and footers, so at the top of your PowerPoint and at the bottom, and apply to all if you need to. So that brings us to word art. So let's have a little go. So I'm going to add that. It's got a bit of a, let's drag that up, a bit of a reflection there. Or I could change that by hovering over, or clear it if I don't want it. But I think I'll go for the blue. That's not bad. So now I've done that, I can add text fill to that. So I can add a different colour. I do like the gradients better though, but again I've got that in my home tab I've shown you, so have a look at that as well. Text outline, I do a red so you can see it. And text effects, again glow, bevel, we've got loads there that you could use to really show off your PowerPoint. And again we look to bring forward, send and so on as well. So remember, when you click on submit, again you get this option drawing tools at the top. Now we'll go back to insert. That was word art. So date and time similar, you can add date and time to each slide if required. And you might just want to add slide numbers, you can choose that option to add the slide numbers as well. Now objects. This allows you to embed objects. So for example, it could be a file, it could be a program. Let me show you what I mean. I'll click on it and let's do, what should we do? Let me have a little scroll down. Let's do a WordPad document. Now I can display it as an icon, which I'm going to show you in a second, and create new, or create from files. So I'm going to create new and click OK. This will automatically pop up as you can see, and you can see the WordPad shortcut in there. I could add some text in there. Now what happens when I close it? If I drag that over there, hold the left button, double tap, it will bring up the link for you as well. But you can also, with the object option, click back into it, create one from file. So if I browse one, let's see if I've got any files in there. I'll just use the hello, this is a test one. Click OK, give it a while to come open, and you can see it imports whatever text was in that document straight into PowerPoint, so you don't have to copy and paste it either. So another great option with the object, because sometimes it's easy just to have them embedded in your actual PowerPoint in a document. Equations you might need, so you might want to go for quadratic formula there, which I've actually no idea what that is, equation, but I struggled with algebra. So when you actually click on it, again you've got your options at the top. See formatting, how you want it to visually look, and then you can change, for example, fraction scripts, and also ink equation if I click on it here, so you can add that manually. So again, I think you've got to be into your maths to really understand that. So I'm going to go back to insert. We've got symbol, so we can add any symbols that you might need that you can't normally get. You can click on here and select your symbols by inserting them. Remember to go up the top here and you can change different fonts. Also subset Latin extended A, so another great option there. Now that brings us to video. Audio and screen reading. So what I'm going to do, I'll make a right mess of this PowerPoint, haven't I? I'm going to do a new slide. I'm still in the insert tab, I'm going to come to video and select it. Now I can choose an online video, so what I'll do is I'll click it once. You might want to add videos to back up what you're discussing, or it could be a video you've created you want to do part of your presentation. So I'm just going to pop in, as I've got a YouTube channel which you're watching now, I'm going to pop in one. Smartart is great for referencing. I'm going to select insert that, and you see it's inserted, and I can hold the left button, position it where I want. Now as I've inserted that video, at the top it's changed, look, to format again, which we've looked at before. But what we haven't looked at is playback, because we can change how we want that to play back. I could play it back now because it will play back without having to go to the slideshow if I want to. But you can change here whether you want it to automatically start, or maybe you want it to start on click. You can have it hide while playing and let you do it in full screen depending on the format, so bear that in mind, and automatically go back to begin after it's finished playing. So again, it depends on what format you're using and what settings you get. So I'll go back to insert audio, so we can also import an audio, or we can record an audio. So as I've got a mic because I'm on a PC, just click record and then add a name to it, and then insert that recording into your presentation. I'll click cancel there. And last of all, screen recording. So if I hold the left button, I can actually record what's going on the screen. So I'm just going to screen record that. Don't know why really. Click record because nothing's going on there. It will give you a time and it will start screen recording. If you want to stop it, come to the top and you can stop, pause, or add a record pointer. So I'm going to stop and click OK. And then you can see a screen recording. I can drag and put where I want to put what I've just recorded. And there you go. And there's the basics of using the insert tab. That should get you up and running. My next video will be on the design tab. Keep watching.